Okay, we're going to look at the third question in the September 11th paper 2 workshop that we're working on. It's an analytical geometry circle question where we're trying to figure out things about the equations of circles and all that. First one, you're given this picture right here, and you've got this little circle with a center of 2 along and 3 up, 2 and 3. It touches a point at 4 and 5. They tell you all this when you read it out. The line PT is tangent. Tangent. It's tangent to NP, to the circle right there at P, and it passes through the x-axis at T. That's an x-intercept. Okay, the first question is, determine the equation of the circle, this small circle with the center at 2 and 3. So you look at that and you go, oh, there's a formula, and I look in the formula, the formula of a circle for on the equation formula sheet, and it's this one. X minus a squared plus y minus b squared equals r squared. Well, I look back here and I go, oh, I've got a and b. You see, a and b are in the formula are the center, and this is the radius squared. Well, I've got both points. I can just use the distance squared. I've got a formula for figuring this out. So that's all I do. I've got the center, 2 and 3, and I can figure out r squared. All I do to figure out r squared is I put it into the distance formula. I've got 2 points. They're 4 and 5 and 2 and 3. So I just go 4 minus 2 squared, subtract the x guys, 5 minus 3 squared, subtract the y guys, and I get 2 squared and 2 squared. I get r squared is 8. Well, I've got r squared is 8. I've got part of the formula. And I know that a and b are 2 and 3. I've got the rest of the formula. I just take the center of 2 and 3 and put a is 2 there, b is 3. There's the equation of the circle that's centered at 2 and 3. And that's it. Let's go back and look at our circle and see the next question. We've got the equation of the circle, and all we really did is use the point to figure out r to get it, put the center in there. Now just take a look. Let's go back and look at this next question. They want us to find the coordinates of t. Well, PT is a tangent. Oh, I remember from my geometry. A tangent is perpendicular to the radius. We've got the radius, but we've got how far it is even. We know that it's this distance is root 8. The distance squared is 8, but it's root 8. But we don't want the distance. We need the gradient. If we could figure out this gradient, then what's the story with perpendicular gradients? You invert it and make it negative. Well, they have to multiply to equal -1. The product of these gradients must be -1. So whatever this is, I turn it upside down and change the sign, and I'll get this gradient. Then I use a point. I just use the equation with the point and the gradient, and then I'll almost have t. I'll have the equation of this line, and then we can figure out t. Well, let's go through it all. I think it's 6 marks. It's a lot of marks. To figure out t, the first thing is find the gradient of np. So let's try that. The gradient of np, and all we do is go 5 minus 3 over 4 minus 2. Subtract the y, subtract the x. The gradient's 1. Therefore, the gradient of the perpendicular line PT must be -1. Let's go back and take a look. So if that gradient's 1, 5 minus 3 over 4 minus 2, this gradient must be -1. Okay. Now, if we take that gradient of -1 and put it into the point gradient formula, the gradient's -1. The point that we're looking for, P, is 4 and 5. We've got the equation of the line. So there's -1x, -1 times -4 is +4, +5. There's the equation of the line. Well, if we want to find t, that's the x-intercept. All we do is let y equal 0. So we go y is 0. Oh, minus x equals -x plus 9. Add x. X must be 9. In fact, that's it. 9 and 0 are the coordinates of t. And that's that part. Let's take a look at the last question. Correct to the nearest whole number. Find the area of the circle. Well, to do that question, you'd have to know that the area of a circle is pi r squared. Well, all we're missing is r squared. We can figure out r squared now because we know t and we know p. We know p. We know this is 9 and 0. We know this is 4 and 5. Just use the distance formula to work out the distance squared. So you go 4 minus 9 squared, 5 minus, subtract the y's, subtract the x's, square them, and you get 50. I don't want to find the square root of 50, the distance, because r squared is kind of a nice thing to fit right in there, the distance squared. So r squared is 50. The answer for the area is just 50 pi. And my calculator tells me 50 pi, 50 times pi is 157 and a little bit. To the nearest, the answer is 157 square units. Got to be careful with some of these questions. They said to the nearest whole numbers. So there's your answer, 157 square units. Okay, one more question to do. Maybe it'll take a couple videos for that one. We'll see.